Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be looking at the best players to buy ahead of game week 32. We'll also take a look at some players you should be looking to sell, as well as some cheeky differentials at the end who could help you boost your rank. If you do enjoy today's video, please do like the video, please do subscribe to the channel, and also comment down below who you are looking to bring in for game week 32. The first player that we're going to look at in today's video who you should be buying is James Maddison. Now James Maddison is coming off the back of a fantastic performance away at Manchester United, only coming away with an assist in the end after his goal was ruled out for a foul in the build-up. But coming off the back of that, he's played very well in the past few game weeks, starting to come back into form. He's a very streaky player, but when he is on form, he is on form. The great thing with James Maddison is he's on free kicks, he's on set pieces. He's also got fantastic fixtures until the end of the season, as with every obviously Leicester player. So if you can't afford Maddison, if you're looking at Barnes or maybe a defender or a forward, then I definitely think Leicester fixtures are ones to target. For example, over the next 3 game weeks, Crystal Palace in 32, double of Newcastle and Everton in 33, fantastic double, and then Aston Villa after that. The great thing with Leicester's fixtures as well is they keep on coming good. 35 they've got Tottenham away, but after that 36 Everton, 37 Watford, 38 Southampton. They've also got 2 fixtures to be rearranged as well, Norwich at home and Chelsea away. So it's just a real no-brainer, to be honest, just due to the amount of games that Leicester are going to be playing. You know, they want to kind of finish the season strong. It's not been a great year for them. They want to finish the season strong. Players are starting to come back from injury as well. We saw Wesley Fofana, James Justin, Maddison. You know, all these players are starting to come back into fitness. So they'll want to finish the season strong. My only concern with buying Leicester players is the Europa Conference rotation risk potentially that we could see. So Leicester are now into the quarterfinals of that competition, and for me that's where their main priorities are going to lie come the end of the season. You know, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get into European football next year through the league qualification way. So for me, the only way I can really see them doing it is by winning the Conference League. That'll get them back into the Europa League and kind of give them that cash injection that they kind of get from European football, which they've kind of been used to over the past few seasons. So that, for me, is where they're going to potentially look. Obviously, we spoke about Brendan Rodgers in the past, maybe being under a little bit of pressure as well. Fell out with the director of football. So you've kind of got to take these factors into consideration when you are looking at Leicester players. Yes, they have a lot of fixtures, but they also have a lot of players in these similar positions to James Maddison. They've got the Europa Conference League, where personally I believe their priorities are going to lie, just due to the fact of getting European football next season. So these are the factors that you do have to consider. But on paper, you've got to take into consideration all the fixtures. Maddison coming back into form. For me, he's my first buy and someone I'm definitely going to be looking to bring into my team over the next few game weeks. The next player you should be looking to buy is Heung-min Son. Now, I chose Son off the back of his fantastic performance against Newcastle. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't rate Kane. I have Kane in my team. I actually brought Kane in and took Son out for a -4 this week. Yes, it hasn't gone well. Yes, I've probably dropped about 40k in rank because of this. But, you know, we live with our decisions. We learn from them, and we become a better manager from it. But Heung-min Son, like we said, he's in good form. Look over the past 5 game weeks, 5 goals, 1 assist, a good XG of non-penalty of 3.39 as well. He's linking up with Kane, he's linking up with Kulusevski. The Spurs boys are in good form as well. Coming into the end of the season, they've got no European football to worry about, no cup competitions as well. So you imagine these guys are going to be playing. Looking over the next few game weeks as well, we've got great fixtures. 32 Villa, 33 Brighton, 34 Brentford, 35 Leicester, and they still have the Arsenal game as well to be rearranged. So for me, I'm personally looking at potentially bringing Son back in for Salah, but that's something that I've kind of just got to go through and not make another rash decision. But if you are looking for a Spurs player, or you haven't got a Spurs player, or you're looking to double up on Spurs, then I believe Son should be a man you should be looking to target. If you have Kane, I believe Kane hopefully will outscore Son for my own team's sake. But if you're looking for the Spurs double up, then definitely go and get Son and Kane. It seems like the boys are back. It seems like Spurs are back as well. They want to finish the season strong, get into the Champions League, because that will unlock a lot of doors for Antonio Conte in the transfer window. One thing to consider though is Kane has scored 7 more points over the past 5 game weeks than Son, so if you are trying to decide between the two, I'd maybe suggest going Harry Kane. Just down to the fact as well that there are limited forwards in the game. There's not, many good forwards out there at the moment, but there's a plethora of midfielders who are scoring points on a consistent basis. The Maddisons, even Rafinha got an assist this weekend, but there's so many midfielders who are getting points and who have attractive fixtures, whereas forwards is very limited, and that's personally why I'd go Kane over Son. But if you already have Kane, then definitely take a look at Son. Or if you just, haven't got the budget, Son's a great player as well. I really regret selling him this week, so please don't make the mistake I did. Get Son in your team, and that was the final buy on the list. Now let's take a look at some sells. Now, my first sell on today's video is Mohamed Salah. Yes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but please listen to my argument. I'm kind of going through the same debate as I imagine a lot of managers are at the moment. His last open play goal was 6 games ago against Norwich. We've got to factor in the fact that the fixtures for the next 2 aren't that appetising. Manchester City away and Man United at home. Obviously, we know what he did against United previously this season, but, is that the same Salah we're seeing right now? I personally believe it's not. He's obviously came back from AFCON and hasn't returned the same player. I imagine the mental pressure that he was under at Egypt. He is their golden boy. He's, their figurehead of their team. And to lose in the final must have been absolutely devastating for him, and the pressure that he would have been under. And then not only that, to not even qualify for the World Cup. Again, the lasers in the eyes. We all saw it on Twitter. The amount of pressure that man must have been under is extremely high. There's talk to him maybe retiring from international football just due to the pressure. And you imagine mentally as well, that's probably had a massive impact on him. He didn't look the same player this week against Watford. He looked a shadow of him for his former self. And I feel if this was any other player than Mohamed Salah, would we be even having this debate? Surely it'd be a player like, if it was like someone like Bruno or Son, we'd easily be going, get rid, sell them. But it is Mohamed Salah. We know what he's capable of. He is magical player who can just produce something out of absolutely nothing. The big things to consider as well is if you do want to sell Salah, his effective ownership, we know it's going to be over 100 a week. He's at like 64% ownership. If Salah does anything, your rank is taking a massive tumble. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant to sell Salah. But it's the upside that you get with it. The amount of money that he's taking up in your team. Absolutely gargantuan part of your budget is on Mohamed Salah. And for a player who's not performing, it's kind of hard to justify that price when he's scoring like 1 penalty goal. When I could be getting someone like Son, or I could be splitting my money around and getting a Maddison and Havertz, who personally I would do, and that's kind of where my thought process is at the moment, over Mohamed Salah. But let me know in the comments what your kind of thought process is behind Mohamed Salah. I'm going to have to take a big deep thought this week. That's why I've included him in the sell pile, because he is a player that I'm potentially looking to sell. It could be one of these genius strategies where I move him on, I bring in other players, and I massively shoot up the rank while people are holding Salah and restricted by the budget constraints he puts you under. Or it could be one of those disasters where I end up about 300k because Salah turns up against City and United, and I can fool with egg on my face. But please let me know in the comments below what your plans are for Salah, what kind of the thought process you're going through. Please, I'm really interested to hear your guys' opinions, because, I do care, and I want a second perspective on it, because I don't think I'm the only person that's thinking about selling Mohamed Salah this game week. My next sell is Sarr from Wolves. Now, he's been fantastic all season, hasn't he? But the reason that I'm including him in this sell as a kind of a short-term strategy is there is no game in game week 33. If you have a good backup goalkeeper, say you've got Martin Dubravka who doubles in 33, then it's just an easy bench. But I know some people who have Ben Foster, so maybe they're looking at a goalkeeper replacement for the next few game weeks. Now, personally, there's a lot out there. There's Pope, there's Schmeichel, there's De Gea, there's Ramsdale. These players all double, especially with the likes of Ramsdale and Pope. Good long-term fixtures as well. If you have Pope and Dubravka as well, that's a lovely rotation. That was something I was going to look at maybe this game week, just down to the fact the amount of games that they're going to be playing, and they kind of have contradicting fixtures. So that's potentially something you could look at. It's nothing personal against Jose Sarr. I just think if you are looking for a goalkeeper who does play in game week 33 and even doubles in game week 33, then I definitely think he could be a man. Wolves do have okayish fixtures after the blank. They have Burnley and Brighton, but then heading past 36, they've got Chelsea, Norwich, Liverpool, and they also have Manchester City to be rearranged. So I do believe it's time to kind of move our Wolves assets out of our teams. There are other teams with a lot of fixtures, a lot of good fixtures as well, that we could be targeting, and Jose Sarr is quite pricey for a goalkeeper, so I believe you could use that money more wisely. Spread the funds around, go for someone like Ramsdale, go for someone a little bit different, even maybe like Nick Pope, and really reap the rewards over the next few game weeks. My first differential for today's video is Shea. Now I know what you're thinking. You only put him in because he scored in the last game against Spurs. No, I actually tweeted this during the game. I was actually frustrated. I was making all the graphics for today's video, and he scored the free kick, and I was absolutely like, do I include him? Do I not? But I think you should be looking, maybe not even at Shea, a Newcastle defender. But as you can see over the past 5 game weeks, 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 big chance created as well. 12 touches in the opposition box for a centre-back is absolutely bizarre. 4.3 million defender. Doubles coming up and nice fixtures till about game week 34. So taking a look at the fixtures, Wolves next week, Leicester and Palace in game week 33. What a double that is. And then coming out of that, game week 34, Norwich away. So if you're looking at maybe moving on like a Connor Cody, a Saiss, I think a Newcastle defender could definitely be something you're targeting. We obviously saw his capability from free kicks. You know, that was evident, and his goal scoring ability has elevated over the past few weeks. I wouldn't say expect that or be buying him for that reason. You want him for the clean sheet potential. And Newcastle, bar the Spurs game, have looked better at the back. Newcastle are 5th for expected clean sheets over the past 5 game weeks. That kind of reiterates my point there, but you've got to exclude the Spurs game maybe as a one-off, maybe a wobble. But for me, you should be potentially looking at a Newcastle player over this next 3 to 4 game week period, just down to the doubles, just down to the nice fixtures. And for me, I've gone for Fabian Schär. I think that's his first name, Fabian, but we'll go with it. Schär for the differential this week, my first differential. Down to his free kick ability, down to the clean sheet potential that Newcastle have. And he's also the highest scoring Newcastle player over the past 5 game weeks. So that for me is why he's my first differential. My final player in today's video and my final differential is Elise. Now I was going to include Zaha, but he had a flag on him and I'm not quite sure what his injury status is. So that's the only reason I didn't go for Zaha, because I didn't want to look, a bit like a knob. I've included Zaha and then he's not even fit. But if Zaha is fit, personally, I'd go Zaha. His numbers are better, and he's on penalties as well. But Michael Elise getting a lot of plaudits at the moment from Crystal Palace fans and football fans in general. He's a dynamic, tricky player, dirt cheap as well, with good long-term fixtures. We take a look at the fixtures. They've got Leicester. Leicester at home, Newcastle away, Leeds at home, Southampton, Watford, Aston Villa, Manchester United, and the Everton game to be rearranged. Palace fixtures long term are absolutely fantastic. We definitely should be looking at a Palace player. If you are looking for a forward option, Mateta definitely could be one who's a nice cheap enabler. Same with Michael Elise, but I do believe that midfield area is a little bit stacked. So, personally, I'd want someone who is having better output. But I have gone for Michael Elise, but there are plenty of Palace options. You got the likes of Tyreek Mitchell as well, who's played every single Premier League minute for Crystal Palace this season. So you're getting a nailed defender there if you are maybe looking to move on a Wolves defender for a team that have good long-term fixtures and one fixture to be rearranged. But yeah, I've included Michael Elise. I personally like him. I personally believe next season we might see the best out of him. This one's a bit of a gamble, bit of an enabler player who has good long-term fixtures, can sit on your bench. And, if you are looking to maybe bench boost in 36, then he could be one that you're looking to include in that, because Palace will probably double with Watford and Everton. What a double that is. But personally, if you have got the money and if Zaha is fit, go with Salah. The penalties alone will kind of make up for the points difference, I believe. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do smash the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It does mean the world to me. And as you can tell by my voice, my throat is absolutely killing after filming this. So please, just for my throat alone, just give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below what your transfer plans are for game week 32 and the weeks beyond.